This isn't a dystopia warning, it's more of a general update, really, on my part. I'm sitting here with my notes from the video that I've tried like 5 times to record today. I tried 5 times to record yesterday, but I'm suffering with like the maddest executive functioning issues, like motivation issues, concentration issues, focus problems at the moment. And yet, regardless of that, I've got constant comments rolling in from armchair critics, not just people that are on the right who just have suddenly realised how politics works and have yet misunderstood it completely. But I've also got people on the left who feel the need to attack me for the fact that I got the Tories out and are blaming me for every single decision that Labour's making, when a lot of the time they're falling for Daily Mail headlines, and people who have spent the last 4 years basically just attacking Labour more than they attack the Conservatives. Whereas people like me and my friends who make video content have tried to painstakingly hold accountable the Conservative government for the last 4 years. Every scandal, every crime. Some days we were overwhelmed and couldn't even keep up with every single crime that was taking place because it was so dark and overwhelming and grim, and 2 years of that was spent in lockdown doing this. So essentially I've got clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. I'm not even a centrist, even though those pricks tell me I am, and I'm stuck in the middle, you know, with basically all other sides hating me. The hard left calling me a Tory, the reform lot calling me a communist. Here I am trying to make sense after like the most intense 4 years of my life, where I was thrust into doing something that was a passion project, that was like a massive hyper focus for me and something that I really cared about. And then I found myself accumulating like an excessive amount of followers. I didn't know what to do with all the attention. It's been very nice, it's been very validating. I'm grateful for the experiences along the way, but it has been overwhelming to deal with. Now we've kind of achieved the purpose of getting rid of the threat, which was always the plan all along. And then you find yourself amongst the wreckage with race riots breaking out and widespread disorder and what looks like the far right taking over. Labour on recess dealt with that. Parliament returns, conference begins, and there's like masses of hatchet jobs on Labour in a media class that have failed for 14 years to apply even the most basic scrutiny to the most corrupt criminal government we've ever known. And it's infuriating watching this massive injustice take place, because it's not a case of people having the truth revealed to them by these journalists. It's a case of them having a line spun to them and something fed to them to make them believe something. And their influence is so great, and I fear their intentions are so poor, that it's just a losing battle. It's like trying to bail buckets of water out of a sinking Titanic. Because billionaires win every single time. They decide what we talk about. They decide the national conversation from their penthouses with their offshore tax havens, protecting their substantial profits from polluting the minds of Britons. Something that's occurred to me lately that's really disturbed me in particular is a prime example of this, which is the royal family. We are conditioned from birth to love this set of scroungers, ornaments, people that feel that they're chosen by God to rule over us, people that perpetuate inequality by their mere existence and status, peak Tory landowners, yet also scrounging immigrants. Oh, the fucking irony. Never any negative coverage. The news is awash with simpering, saccharine adulation of these people. There's no one that represents us in politics that can get rid of them. The public is told they want that. Just like the public is told that Labour's corrupt when there's no evidence of corruption. Just like the public is told they're all the same and then the same broadcasters will go, oh, I wonder how we've got race riots, because you're telling people stuff that isn't true. You're making people believe things that aren't true, and none of it is in their interests. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have in this country, and it enrages me. And that's why I've been trying to put together notes over the last couple of days to cover what's been happening over the last week with Labour, trying to find a bit of balance, trying to find a way to see through and cut through all of that bullshit. But it's not easy to wade through that, and it's not made any easier when you've got people on all sides gunning for you, when all you've tried to do over the last 4 years is shine a light maybe on articles that are reported but people don't pay any attention to. When I say things aren't reported, I don't mean they're not put to print or they're not put on websites. They're written about, but there's not rolling coverage of it like there is on the news with what they're trying to make out to be like an act of Labour corruption, which is essentially them just operating how every other government and every other MP has operated since the dawn of fucking time. Every party has donors. Every MP, or most MPs, accept gifts. I don't agree with it. I think there needs to be major changes made to all of that. But that wasn't in the manifesto of Labour, to stop donors. But because you've got all these like pork lad reform lot people who equate politics with football and don't really fully understand it, that's not me being like up my own arse. They genuinely do not understand how this shit works. They're immediately equating it with corruption when their man Johnson didn't get any of this. Nobody was questioning on the news day in, day out when he came to power what he'd been doing as Foreign Secretary, you know, appointing the son of a KGB agent to the House of Lords, attending the parties of a KGB agent, taking millions in donations from the wife of Putin's ex-finance minister. Were there questions about that all over the news? You know, serious Russian interference in our politics? No. And this is what pisses me off. Because all those clowns gunning for the new Labour government, who aren't necessarily perfect. No, I've got some stuff that I'm researching on Labour at the moment, which isn't great, to be honest with you. But those people gunning for Labour have supported that corruption. They have acted like a propaganda or promotional arm of the Conservative Party for 14 years as they bled us dry. Billions stolen, not wasted, stolen from us. Them singing I Had the Time of My Life as they cut benefits to people that were in abject poverty, being caught in brothels. I could go on and on and on about it. I spent 4 years going on and on and on about it, and I guess on a personal level I'm a bit annoyed that people are now turning on me as if I'm automatically responsible for everything that Labour does. What matters to me is injustice, lies, people being brainwashed by these morons. The other day at his conference, Farage said, oh, I could feasibly be Prime Minister one day. With this media climate, yes, he could. With those people masquerading as journalists when they're really bought and paid for by the right, absolutely. If anything, they're going to make that happen, and then God help us all. And why are they coming for Labour? Because they're taxing the rich? They're taxing private schools. There's whispers of capital gains tax, inheritance tax. And with virtually every single paper in Britain being right-wing and their readership being relatively wealthy, and the people that vote, Tory mostly, now Reform probably, I really wonder, you know, why these hatchet jobs are taking place. I'm not saying Labour should not be held accountable. They should. But for shit they've done. Not smeared for stuff they haven't. Anyway, I will try and record my video tomorrow in which I outline some of this in a bit more detail with maybe slightly less swearing. If my brain works, which it's not working very well at the moment, no.